Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Bobby Waldron and this is the 8th of January 2016 Genesis Model Show. So happy new year to everyone. We're now in 2016. Now coming up in the show, you know, we've got the group build winners, we've got January's competition prize, and I've now got a product review to show you of a new game I had for Christmas, which is X-Wing. So let's have a nice product review of that before we get on with the rest of the show. Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Bobby Waldron and in this video we're going to be having a product review of the X-Wing game. So that Star Wars X-Wing game really looks like a cool game, and what I want to do in this video is not teach you how to play, but I want to review the game, but I also want to show you a couple of the rules just to sort of give you a feel for how this game flows, and you know, just to give you a general idea of how it plays, as well as prices, what quality the miniatures are, how good they look and everything. So let's start off with the core game. Now this game was released around about 2013, and when they released it, they released the core set here, which is this little box here, and within this box you do get two TIE fighters and an X-Wing. Now that might not seem like many miniatures at all to sort of, you know, start buying a game. Inside the box you do get all the tokens, and there's also pilot cards, upgrades, the dice, the rules and everything. Although you don't get many miniatures, it's around about 25 to 30 pounds to actually go out and buy this. So to actually, you know, get going, get playing, and experience the game, it isn't going to cost you much at all. Not to mention these are pre-painted miniatures, so there's no building, painting or anything like that. Boom, you are straight into this tabletop game, which is rather good compared to, you know, a lot of manufacturers out there where you're literally paying maybe about £75 for the core game just to get going. So this is rather cheap in that sense. So also, because of the new Star Wars movie Force Awakens, they did go off and they have released this year, it's 2016 now, but the end of 2015 they did release this Force Awakens, which basically updates the rules, and you get, with this one, you get the new TIE fighters, the black and white ones, and you get the new X-Wing that you see in the new film. So just to kind of let you know that. Now if we open up the box, right, what you get inside here, now I've already opened this up, but I want to sort of just give you a general idea of the game, rather than completely and utterly showing you how to play. So first off, the instructions. Well, with this game you get the instructions. This is the Force Awakens version, and you basically get a learn to play booklet, and then you get a rules reference. So it's like, here's all the rules, but then here is like a learn how to play. So they sort of work your way sort of through it nicely with this and go through the basic rules, which is rather cool the way they do that. Also you get all these different tokens that come with this. I mean, we've got dials, we've actually got the tokens that you know, relate to, so you know, you've got your X-Wing here, and you've actually got Omega Ace Pilot who's actually in there, and you've got the actual token that will represent that one. So the cool thing is about this game, we're not going off, and I know a lot of these sort of space games, you have a piece of paper and you have to write down the name of the ship and how much life it's got and all these kind of things. We've actually got this information on the base itself, which is cool. Also you get a lot with this is, I'll just open this up and just show you one. Each fighter on this does have like a card that relates to it. So what we have here is Blue Ace, and that will sort of correspond with our Blue Ace miniature just here, and then this gives you all the information you need, and then you have a dial that goes with each playing card as well. So each miniature has a whole array of like cards, upgrades, dials, tokens that goes with it. So it is a bit more detailed, this game, than a lot of games out there. This game isn't like a big grand scale, say, you know, you got like 100 fighters going on, or hundreds and hundreds of fighters. I mean, we're talking maybe like flight or squadron level here. So we're talking, you know, about 4 fighters for a flight, or a squadron of 16, you know, and that's pretty much the limit. So it is going into a detailed sort of fighter type game that we've got here. So let's just have, you know, a quick, not sort of teach you how to play this, but a quick run through the rules, in a sense of just to give you a feel of how this is played. So here we have our X-Wing, which also has a dial that comes with it, and then we've also got, let's get these out of the way and get this all on camera, and then we've also got our TIE fighters, which they also come with their own dials as well, and their own cards, which I'll get out late. I won't get out now because, you know, I just want to speed things up. And the way the game is basically played is they keep things nice and simple. You don't have like each and every fighter has a whole bunch of stats, right? They do sort of try and take this game and make it fast paced, easy going, very basic, very sort of flowing. So everybody sort of has the same stats in the sense of movement and range of weapons, which speed things up a lot. So these dial tokens here, basically what you do is in the beginning, the first round, the planning phase, is you turn the dial and you decide what movement template you want to use for the movement phase. So, you know, we can run through here, and I don't know, we could do a bit of maybe a left or right turn or something. You turn it to that, and then you put it face down, right? But you don't tell your opponent what that is, so only you know what that is. And then your opponent goes off, does his dial tokens, and nobody sees what they are until the action phase, which is where in the action phase you then go off and you turn over your dial token, and then you get the appropriate template. So that's a 2 moving to the right. So we get our appropriate template, we butt it up against our miniature here, and then we actually, using the template, make that maneuver. So moving wise is very, very simple. I mean, different dials for different fighters have slightly different maneuvers, and then it goes a little bit complicated when you have like red maneuvers or green maneuvers. But just to give you a flow of the game, you know, they are pretty sort of similar. They are a little bit different depending on the miniature. At which point everyone's moved all their, you know, turned over all their dials, they've done their movement, which I think is a great aspect to the game, because a lot of games out there, it is, you know, one side does all their movement, the other side does all their movement, or it is one unit moves, then the opponent's unit moves, and so on and so on and so on, which does sort of give you a sort of, sometimes it can be a bit unfair when you know, if you have to move your units first, you know, you're revealing your movement to your opponent, and then your opponent, you know, gets that bit of an advantage where you can see, oh, I know where you're moving, I'll move my units here and there. Whereas with this, because it's all done in the planning phase, or with these dial tokens, it is rather cool, because you know, everyone's made all their movements, you know, no one can see what the other person's up to, which does kind of make it fair, which I do like. And then moving, and then you do have an action phase where you get to do all sorts of, you know, actions using the force, all sorts of sort of fancy fighter movements like boosting and barrel rolls and stuff, or locking on target or evading, all these kind of things. But when you get to the shooting phase, this is also an interesting part about the game as well, is this is the range template. Now this range template is for everybody, right? There is no okay, my X-Wing has a range of 10 inches, or my TIE fighter has a range of this or that. No, this is it. Everybody has the same range, right? Which, okay, that does make this game sound maybe a little less tactical, but to be honest with you, I think it is something. I mean, I've been playing this game and I haven't really noticed that there's been a downside to having everybody having the same range. It really hasn't felt like it has came up, but what it has done is it speeds up the game so much. This whole using movement templates and having the same range, it really gets this game flowing fast. There's no going off and going, oh, what's my stats for this one and what's my stats for that one, and you're looking up stats, you're looking up rules. No, you are just like straight in there, and you're shooting, you're moving. It is really fast paced. You can really get through turns really quickly with this game, which I think that's exactly what the makers of this game are after, really, is to actually have it fast paced. Because let's face it, you've got Warhammer games and 140k where there's miniatures and soldiers. Those kind of battles can take quite a bit of time with them moving into position and then shooting and stuff. But with fighters, it is a fast paced. In reality, it is really fast. So I think that's what they've tried to do with the game, is to make things really fast and easy, which is rather good, because for kids, I think it is a game that really they can pick up quite easily. I know my daughter Olivia, she's picked this game up. I played a little one practice game with her and she's picked it up straight away. It is easy in that sense. Now back to the shooting. Well, the shooting is rather simple. As you say, everybody has the same range ruler, and it is as simple as range 1. We've got range 1 just on there. Range 1 means the attacker gets an extra attack dice. Range 2, nothing happens. Range 3, the defender gets an extra evade dice. So it's as simple as that when it comes to range. You then have a bunch of dice. Green ones are your evade, your red ones are your attack dice. There's none of this like D6s or D3s or anything like that. These dice are specifically made for this game, and they will do specific things. Like, let's have a look at the attack dice. We've either got a hit, we've got a focus, or we've got a critical, or nothing. It is just as simple as that. Same with the evade. You've got evade, focus, or nothing happens. So rather simple. And the way the shooting basically works is, let's just do a quick roll. Right, oh crikey, that's quite lucky of me. Right, we've got 3 hits, right, with the red dice, and then we've got 1 evade and 2 blanks. Well, the 2 blanks do nothing. This evade, right, that will cancel out 1 of the hits. So what would happen here is our X-Wing here would land 2 hits onto our TIE fighter, and it is almost as simple as that. That is the basics of it. It does can get a bit more in depth with things like using actions. Using, like, say, target lock, for example. You can re-roll dice. Using the force, let's just say our TIE fighter here rolled the force, right? He can use a force token, which you earned in the action phase, and he can turn that dice into an evade. But that's getting a little bit more complicated, and I don't really want to be teaching you the whole game. But a quick look at a few other things here as well. On the card, this is basically the basics. Let's just bring you in a little bit closer for this. Let's get you on camera. Basics, right, the orange number here is the pilot skill. Pilot skill is rather cool. What that means is the higher the pilot skill, you are basically the highest pilot skill gets to fire first. The lowest pilot skill has to move first. The red number here is how many attack dice you get. The green one is how many evade dice you get. Then we have this yellow one, which is basically how many hull points you get. So in that example we did before with our TIE fighter, he took 2 hits, right? He has 3, as you can see just on there, he has 3 hull points, so he'd be down to 1 hull point. And then the blue one is shields. If your fighter has shields, you know, it basically sort of works the same as hull points, only shields can be brought back rather nicely. And then depending on your pilot, you might have like a little special ability just here. Also, these are like special actions this say fighter can perform. In this case we have, he can use the force, he can target lock, and he can boost. And those are the things you can perform in the action phase. And then just here, these are the different types of upgrade cards you can put onto your fighter to make it even better. And then we have the points cost, how much this fighter costs. Moving along, just to have a look at some upgrade cards just to show you. This one here, okay, it's proton torpedoes, and what this is, it does a little bit of an upgrade. Basically each one's different, but you need to sort of read which one does what. You have like a points, how much it costs here. So, you know, if we wanted to equip this onto our blue ace here, it would be 27 points plus another 4 to equip this bit of equipment here. But you'd have to make sure that this symbol at the bottom just here, right, matches up with one on here, so it says, you know, it can have that bit of an upgrade equipped. So that is basically, you know, a quick feel for how the game plays. I have played it and it does feel like a very fast-paced game. It's not very complicated. I mean, the upgrade cards, when you start upgrading your fighters and stuff, giving them lots more different abilities, it can maybe sort of, will not get complicated, but you know, it just makes things a little bit more sort of interesting and maybe a bit more complicated, a bit more tactical in that sense. But yeah, I really like how this game plays. So next up is the miniatures. Now these miniatures are pre-painted, so let's have a look at 1 or 2 of them, maybe get in nice and close if we can. Right, hopefully as you can see, this is a nice pre-painted X-Wing from the new Force Awakens. As you can see, you know, they're painted rather well. We've got some, you know, half decent detail going on in there as well, and it looks like they do have a pretty good wash on there, which really sort of brings out the detail on these miniatures. But apart from that, I mean, yes, you could paint these up better. Here's a TIE fighter here as well, you know, again, you know, looking rather good. I do like the miniatures. They are, I mean, actually it's probably a bit nicer to maybe show you the Millennium Falcon. As you can see, lots of detail on there. Some parts can be moving, some of the biggest sort of ships, but yeah, yeah, I do like how they've gone about using sort of like a wash of some sorts, because that really does bring out all their nice little bits of detail. So yes, the miniatures are good. I mean, they're not professionally painted or anything like that, but they're good. They're good enough to take them out of the box and start playing and be happy with it, and probably never have to go along and paint them. If you did want to paint them, fair enough, you can. But in my experience with like ship miniature games is, because these, you know, the Millennium Falcon and X-Wings, because they're so big in real life, because they're being scaled down so much, I do find that you can't really put that kind of detail in there. So I mean, I've got Battlefleet Gothic just over there, and when I paint up mine, I mean, I literally paint them probably to the same level of these, really, because it's so scaled down. You can't really put loads and loads of detail in and highlights and all this kind of fancy painting, really, because as I say, it's scaled down so much. You can't get that kind, you can't realistically get that kind of detail in there anyway. So I'd be quite happy with these. You can paint them up if you want and maybe make them different squadron markings or something like that, but yeah, you should be absolutely fine with the paintwork on these. And not only that, which is also a cool little thing, is I know when you have like space battles and they're on these stands, right, they are so easily, you know, snapped off or broken or something like that. But the cool thing is the packaging that all these miniatures come with. They've made the packaging so that they don't get broken. So it really is no problem just to come along and literally, why not just keep your packaging, and there you go. I mean, I'm keeping all my packaging and it allows me to you know, keep everything from getting broken, which is rather cool. Next up, I just want to talk about the rules a little bit. Now, when they released the first one, which is the red box, right, that came with a set of rules, and that was about 2013. 2015, they then released the next core box set, and they had a set of rules for that. Now, they haven't gone off and gone, here is a rule book, a big book costing 30 odd pounds, which is just a rule book, and it's got all the stats and everything in there. They've gone about it in a way which is rather good, because it saves you, the customer, from going off and spending loads more money on rule books, right? The way, I mean, really the way it works is the card that comes with the miniature is the rules, the stats for that fighter. So there is no need to go off and go, let's buy the Rebel rule book and let's buy the Imperial rule book and spend a load of extra money there just to get all the stats for all the expansion fighters you can get. The way it works is you buy any fighter, any kind of expansion fighter, and within its little package or box will come all the tokens you need, your dial tokens. It'll come with a whole bunch of different pilots with all the stats and rules on the card, as well as a bunch of upgrade cards as well. So all the rules come with that expansion fighter. So there is no buying extra rules, which is also a bonus for this game as well. So next thing is cost. How much does all this cost? Well, as I've said, the core game, the box, where you get 2 TIE fighters and an X-Wing, costs about, you know, between £25 and £30, which is not a lot at all to just get boom in there straight away playing, which is a big difference, really. I mean, you take Games Workshop, Age of Sigmar, £75, the Warhammer 40k is about the same price, and a lot of sort of games like that, you're paying about £70 or £80 just to buy the core game. And then, I mean, Games Workshop is absolutely terrible for like rule books. You know, they release a little rule book with the actual core game, but then they go, well, here's the proper big rule book here, you know, give me another £45, and then you need a rule book for each army you choose, give me another £30. You know, it does not ask for that, as I've mentioned. So the core game's like £25 to £30, and then expanding on that with more miniatures. Well, the miniatures, I mean, each fighter, you go off and buy, say this Y-Wing here, and this Y-Wing cost me about, I think it was about £11 to buy this sort of expansion fighter here. Now, yes, you get one fighter, it costs about £11, but that is actually, you know, rather good really, because as I say, this game is, I mean, let's face it, the tournament, right? A tournament asks for 100-point battles, tournaments within X-Wing. That is going to is the equivalent to about 3 or 4 fighters, right? So, you know, that's just like flight level. And if you go off and you want to play with your mates, I mean, you might go up to squadron level of about maybe 14, 16 fighters or something like that. So you're not having a massive army of 100 fighters. So it's not like, you know, £11 times 100 fighters. I mean, we are talking like you can buy 10 fighters and you've got a big, you know, you've got a big sort of army there, so to speak. So I don't think it costs that much compared to what you're paying. You haven't paid that much for the core rules. So yeah, it is, I think, a rather cheap in comparison to a lot of wargaming out there. So I think the price is really, really good. I do like how the rules are fast paced, easy to learn. I do like how the miniatures are painted well enough to kind of you know, even, I mean, I'm quite picky, you know, even I'm quite happy with the standard of these miniatures. I'm quite happy just to not even go off and paint these or anything like that. So yeah, I do like that sort of standard of painting. So yeah, all in all, I would say this is definitely a well recommended game, especially if you're into wargaming, especially if you're into like starship type battle wargaming. You know, if you're, you know, the kind of person who doesn't like to paint up all your miniatures, you know, this is a big bonus with it all being painted for you. I know the kids can actually get in on this game. You know, I do believe Olivia's like 10 years old, so, and she's picked up this game very, very easily. So it's not hard at all. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you've enjoyed this quick sort of, well, it's probably not a quick one, but a nice inbox review of this. So hopefully you've got the feel for how the rules work, you know, what the miniatures look like, the price of it. Yeah, hopefully you've sort of had a, you know, a good enough look into this to decide whether or not you want to go out and buy it, which for 25 to 30 pounds for the core set, if you don't like it, it's not like a big loss compared to some of the other games you can buy out there. So hopefully you've enjoyed this product review here at Genesis Models. So until next time, my name is Bob Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed that nice product review there of our X-Wing game there. Now, this week I've also gone off and released an episode of our Spitfire and our Hurricane, which, as you can see, we're all sprayed up. I've sealed it in with a gloss coat. We are basically ready for deckling with this one. In this, in the episode, we've got, you know, we talk about camo patterns and sort of using different different colours for bleaching. You know how we normally just either add white or black for bleaching or post shading. We talk about different alternative colours. We go into a bit more detail with our Panzer Putty, which is really cool stuff for doing camo patterns. We've got some rust work in there as well. So a nice episode there for you with the Spitfire and the Hurricane build. Now, what I want to talk to you about now is, now we're going into 2016. As I've mentioned in December, I want to sort of change things and make things a little bit better here at Genesis Models. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to stick with, you know, one build at one time and concentrate on that. So you know, we've got the Hurricane and Spitfire here, which I'm working my way through, and next week I'm hoping to get these finished, to then the week after that hopefully start a whole new step-by-step video build. What I've also decided as well is to be able to sort of get more episodes out and to be a bit more sort of fast-paced with my work. I'm sort of going for a fortnightly show. Now, the reason for this is, I mean, we did do a monthly show, which did seem a bit too long between shows. And there's a lot of stuff that I missed. Doing a weekly show really does take away from me actually doing the builds and making the videos and the episodes. Plus, I mean, there's only so much you can sort of get into a show as well. But by going fortnightly, which for you US guys out there, that's every 2 weeks, it just sort of allows me to sort of, for instance, this week is sort of like a normal week. I've done my building, then I'm making this video, but next week, by having that week off from doing an episode, I can basically just spend most of my time actually building and making episodes. So next week will just be a load of episodes, and not only that, by doing it on a fortnightly basis as well, I feel like I can sort of like put a bit more into the show, make the shows a bit more interesting as well. So hopefully the shows will be more interesting. Okay, they're only every 2 weeks, but hopefully they'll be more interesting, and hopefully we'll get more episodes of build out as well. And by concentrating on one build at a time, I'm kind of thinking I'll be able to sort of get into the model more. You know, the worst thing you can be doing, we all know in modeling, is if you've got a model and you spend so long on the model that you eventually kind of get in this sort of place where it's like, oh, when is that model going to be finished? It's just never going to be finished, and you sort of lose a little bit of heart with that. And I must say, time to time, you know, with say the F-15, I was getting into that position of, oh, when is this ever going to finish? So by having my concentration on one model rather than 3 models at a time, hopefully I can sort of get into that modeling zone of, you know, I'm really sort of getting into that model, and hopefully working a bit faster and all this sort of stuff to basically get more models out a bit sort of quicker, a bit more fast paced. And I'm sort of thinking as well, I do seem to sort of, in my step-by-steps, really sort of try and cover everything. If I maybe sort of shave, you know, a little subject here and there off just a little bit, just to speed things up a bit, you know, so say for example cockpits, maybe the next group build, maybe the next video build I do, maybe I miss the cockpit just to speed things up, but then the next step by step I'll cover the cockpit. I mean, I'm not talking about completely shaving everything down, just a little bit here and there just to speed things up, and then potentially cover it in the next step by step. You know, that's what I'm kind of thinking for 2016, and with the shows being every 2 weeks, hopefully they should be more interesting as well. So hopefully you're liking them changes. Thanks for all the feedback you guys gave me as well, for me to be able to sort of come to these decisions, and you know, hopefully I've made the one that you are all liking. So thanks for all your feedback. Also 2016 with the actual studio here, well, I'm still trying to find the time to actually decorate the place up and everything, and a lot of good feedback as well on the forum and whatnot about decorating this place. But yeah, I want to sort of get this place decorated up. I want to get it opened up so you guys can come down. You can have gaming nights, we can have hobby nights, you know, maybe, I don't know, I might start up a shop, I don't know, or just one-to-one tutorage, or all sorts of stuff like that is what I'm sort of thinking about when I open this up. Again, a bit of feedback. I know it's basically going to be people who are local, so you know, your feedback is definitely more than welcome. So hopefully this is going to be a good start to 2016. Next up is the awaited group build winners. So I've done a nice little video on the green screen, so I can sort of give some nice, potentially constructive criticism and praise for the winners here. So let's go take a look at our aircraft carrier based aircraft group build for 2015. Hello there, and welcome to the 2015 carrier-based aircraft. Now, for the judging, we're going to start off with the most original. Now, before we sort of get started with that, fantastic work across the board from everybody. It was really hard to judge this one, especially third place. Third place had quite a few selections, and it was really sort of hard to choose which one. So hopefully you will like the results either way. But first off, most original. Now, most original goes to Chopper Nutter. So congratulations to you, Chopper Nutter. You are the winner of our most original. Now, as you can see from the pictures that we have here, what we have those egg planes that you get from Hasegawa. Really cool egg planes, something different, something new, and as you can see, it is modelled very well. But what you've also got with this is some great photography work, which, by the way, you know, when it comes around to judging, although photography isn't part of actually building the model, at the end of the day, sadly, you know, it is a big thing really, because I mean, for me to be able to judge it, I need to look at your photos. So if you've got the best model in the world, but your photos are a bit, you know, it's going to sort of affect the judging, sadly. So it is good to make sure you've got good photos. And as you can see, you know, we've got good backgrounds in there, a bit of foreground. I know it's carpet, but it does look alike, see. And he's done a really good scratch build here, which is very original, because he's gone off and he has actually taken an egg box and then turned that egg box into an actual carrier, which is, you know, does represent the whole egg plane type thing very well. And hopefully, as you can see by the pictures, you know, the quality of the modeling is very good. The idea of the egg box and the egg plane, you know, really does marry up very nicely. So that is a really good, most original for our air carrier based aircraft. So coming to third place now, which by the way was really hard to judge, as there were so many of you who were in that sort of level and very close to actually judge that. But in the end, I did decide on Aptish as our winner for our third place in the group build. And as you can see from the photos, he's done a 1/48 scale Hobby Boss F14 Tomcat. And by the looks of it, he's really sort of followed my step-by-step video build on doing the F14 Tomcat, because you can see from the pictures that, you know, he's done that salt technique, which is quite a hard technique to do. Can be kind of a bit messy as well, sort of cleaning it up, but you can see that has come out in his work. You can see, you know, his spray work. He has been doing bleaching, pre-shading, post-shading, all those kind of things, and because it was so close with third place, I did go off and I had to sort of look at your work in progress threads as well. So I was looking at the pictures there, and I could see in a bit more detail that, you know, he was sort of really doing some good sort of wheel wells and landing gear, and to just sort of really look into those work in progress to help me through this. As a little bit of a tip, the photography, as I mentioned with the most original photography, is important for me to judge. And I did notice with these pictures, although there was lots of pictures for me to look at, it was a little bit hard to actually see the paint work as much as I'd like to see it, because it did seem to have a lot of white in there. You know, so as a little bit of a tip, I mean, with the lighting and everything, you know, you don't want all your light coming, say, from one source. You want it coming from, you know, a lot of different sources, and you know, maybe go into these settings on your camera to sort of not have so much light coming through, because I did feel that, you know, you could probably see from this picture here, which way is that going to be on camera? It's going to be over here. You know, it is quite white up here, and I can't really see the spray work going on as much as I'd like to see it. But, you know, I could see enough to see that, you know, we've got a lot of good spray work going on there, and it does look like a lot of the join lines have been tackled rather well as well. The cockpit detail looks really good too, but apart from that, yes, a really good third place winner there. So congratulations to you for coming third place. Now we come to second place. Now in second place, we've got a really good build here, and the winner of second place was Bill Larissa. So congratulations to you, Bill Larissa. You came second place here in the group build, and here's a couple of pictures just to show you why I picked it. Now looking at the spray work looks really good, advanced spray work. What I did like as well, if you sort of look at this picture here, you'll see the wing section, how different panels look like they've been filtered down, so that you've got lighter and darker different panels, which really does add a lot of nice flavour to this build. You know, if you look at the spray work as well, we've got bleaching, post shading, pre-shading going on there, all sorts of lovely weathering, which does look really sort of natural and not too uniform. We've got all sorts of sort of bays open on this, so you can sort of see all those internal details, bits of engine, you know, having one wing up, so in the sort of like the closed position, does sort of give us, you know, two different ways of looking at this. We've got some really cool chipping going on as well as the pilots are getting in and out. The cockpit work looks really good as well. I mean, really, I can't really fault it. I think there was one little bit that I did notice, which if we just go through some of the pictures here, yeah, just in the middle, just here, right on the nose section where the engine cowl is, you can see that some of those bolts are really sort of big, and that's probably down to there being a seam line there where it glues together, and you've probably like sort of taken care of your seam line, maybe sanding it down, and then you've sort of re-riveted it, but you've gone a little bit, shall we say, a bit too deep than the rest of the rivets sort of going on there, so it sort of looks a little bit out of place. But apart from that, absolutely fantastic build and well deserving of second place. So now let's take a look at who is the top gun of our aircraft carrier based group build. So, announcing the top gun here at Genessis-Models for our 2015 aircraft carrier based aircraft, I came to, after looking at all your work, I came to VDBO 76. So congratulations to you, you are this year's Top Gun, and actually you were the last group build's Top Gun as well, so you have managed to do it 2 times in a row. Now, as you can see from these pictures, you know, for a start, the photography work is really professional, absolutely superb lighting, great background. You can clearly see all the work that has been put into this, and the work that's been put into this as well is pretty professional modelling, if you ask me. I mean, looking through the pictures, as you can see, the paint work, the spray work that is on this is absolutely top-notch, fantastic. You can see, you know, we've got really good, precise, nice weathering with bleaching, pre-shading, post-shading, all those kind of things. Lovely sort of weathering going on there. Cockpit detail looks absolutely fantastic. As you can see on this picture here, you know, we've got that nice tinted out green screen, bit of window there. That's been done really well. Moving along the pictures, we can see a bit of the exhaust here, which that's been done with some really good natural metal finishes, and you know, that's been weathered in really nice. The deckling, as you can see, I do believe that that tail section there with the sunrise, that's all the decal there, and that, as you can see there, has really sort of been nicely conformed to the model in all the recesses and everything. Also, you know, looking at this, the beautiful work that's been done on the fuel tank, you can see that there's been some really heavy weathering been done on that fuel tank now, which really sort of adds more flavour to it, because you know, in real life these fuel tanks do seem to get a lot more weathered than the aircraft does, and you can see the differences in how that sort of weathering is with the fuel tank and the actual aircraft. Again, you know, he's gone off as well. He's done a little bit of a diorama with some crew and a base and everything, which, you know, adds that little bit extra to it. But all in all, fantastic work with the spraying, the weathering. I've not seen any nasty sort of join lines or anything like that. Fantastic photography. It does look really neat, really crisp. Everything's been taken care of. Canopies look crystal clear. You just can't really fault this build at all. You can't fault the photography. Everything about it has a very high standard, and it is just perfection in modeling, so to speak. So absolutely fantastic work, and well deserving of the Top Gun, which is the second time in a row. So basically you've got to try and knock this guy off to stop him from getting 3 times in a row. So congratulations, VDB 76, I think it was. Yes, 76. So congratulations for being this 2015 aircraft carrier based aircraft Top Gun. So there is all the winners for our aircraft carrier based aircraft 2015. Congratulations for all of you who took part and finished. I do believe there's about 22 of you, although I do believe our Top Gun did actually do more than one, which is rather good of him. So I think there's about 20 of you. I've ordered in a load of dog tags like last time, so I'll be getting all your mailing addresses and I'll be shipping all those dog tags out to you free of charge, just for actually finishing, as well as all the people who just won third, second, Top Gun and most original. I'll be sending out all those kits to you as well as the trophies, as always, which I've got to just go off and get your email addresses, find out what name you want on the trophy, so as I can go off and get them all done at the trophy place to ship out for you, also for free of charge. So all those prizes will be going out to you. So now that our group build's finished, we're going to start another group build. Now this group build was proposed and voted for by you guys. It was really close. Really came down to the last day where we did finally get a winner for the next group build, because we had the sci-fi group build and the Airfix group build was neck and neck with votes, but when I actually finally sort of closed the voting, it came out with just one vote ahead, which was the a sci-fi group build. So Airfix group build just lost by a nose, and we've now got a sci-fi group build, which does make things quite interesting. I know we've got the Star Wars The Force Awakens film has just been released, so I think everyone's a little bit sci-fi at the moment, so it does kind of make sense. And looking back at a lot of group build proposals, the sci-fi group build proposal has always been there and has always had good votes, so I suppose it is about time that we did have one of those group builds. So what this basically means is you can build absolutely anything that is sci-fi, from sci-fi films, sci-fi TV series, which could be anything from Star Trek, Star Wars, even going into Gundam maybe. I know the Japanese, they love all that Gundam stuff. You know, absolutely anything sci-fi, any model, any manufacturer. It can be armoured ships, spaceships, aircraft, any scale. You can use aftermarket parts as much as you like. It really doesn't matter, as long as it is something sci-fi. So you've really got a massive range of you know, stuff that you can actually build there for this one. I think I'm going to get in on this one as well. I mean, an X-Wing would probably be rather nice. It's kind of a shame I've just finished my Superman as well, but there we go. Yeah, really good group build there. I do like the look of that. So prizes and start times, well, it's going to start on the 9th of January 2016, so that is, I do believe, this Saturday. So it's going to be starting straight away. It's basically a day after this goes up, this show goes up, you know, the next day it's going to be started. It's going to finish the 30th of June, so you've basically got slightly under 6 months to actually start and finish this build. So again, we've got 6 months, and again, we're going to have the same prizes as well. We're going to have third, second and Top Gun, as well as the most original, which does actually remind me, for our Top Gun that has just been announced, which was VDB 72, I have finally almost finished, the Top Gun trophy. I've still got to put some more shields going up there just to sort of finish off, but basically the Top Gun winner, which was VDB 72 or 6 again, I'm sorry I forgot, we're going to get your name engraved on one of these shields, as well as I've got to do the one that you won 6 months ago as well, so you're going to have your name on here twice. Yeah, so this is what you're going to be hopefully all striving for. This will be in the studio, hung up for all time, for anyone and anyone who comes into the shop to actually see, you know, the Top Gun winner and see who has been the winners for that year, which I think is really cool, something really to strive for, to become Top Gun, the best of the best at here at Genesis Models. So yeah, as I say, the prizes, Top Gun, you'll get your name engraved on there. Both third, second and Top Gun and most original, you'll all get trophies. Everybody who finishes, whether you win or not, will get a dog tag, just like our aircraft carrier based aircraft group build. But also the winners get some prizes, which I'm going to show you now. Well, first off, third place will get the Hobby Boss 148 scale ME262A1A/U1. Remember as well as you get your trophy and your dog tags and that. Second place will be getting a Soviet T-64AV mod 1984 135th scale trumpet kit, you know, again, as well as your trophy. And then let's do most original. We'll get a Lancaster Mark 1/3 by Revell 172nd scale. Nice new tool that Airfix did there. And then for the Top Gun will be a F20A Tiger Shark by the new company Freedom Models Kits 148 scale, and a Chieftain Mark 11 by Takam 135th scale. So, you know, two nice kits there. Again, remember, you get your trophies, everybody gets dog tags, and Top Gun gets their name engraved on the Top Gun trophy. So again, that starts the 9th of January, finishes the 30th of June sci-fi group build. Next up is our January 2016 competition. Now this competition is sponsored by AK Interactive, who has sponsored us with a whole bunch of paints here for you to have a chance of winning. So what we have here is a whole bunch of their extreme metal enamel based metallizer type paints. Really cool paints. I do actually like these, and I'm really starting to prefer these, which is rather good. And you also will be winning a US Modern Aircraft 1 paint set here, which is about 8 paints in there, and they cover a lot of colours for all your sort of F-14s, F-15s, F-16s, FA-18s, all those kind of planes. So a nice bunch of paints there for you to win. To be in it to win it, as usual, go to Genesis Models Forum, go to the competition section, and you will see January 2016 competition. All you got to do is make a post in there saying count me in or something to that effect, and you are entered. And then come the first Friday show in February, I'll basically do a random number generation program and run down the thread until I come to the winner, and I'll announce your the winner in that show, and then I'll give you an email, get your mailing address, and ship this stuff off to you free of charge. Also, just a quick note on the competition prizes for December. You know, all those prizes that Santa did a giveaway for. Because it was Christmas, there's probably like a big mess up with like postage and packaging, so it's probably going to take a little bit longer. Just to let you know, I am getting it all shipped out to you and everything. It's just with Christmas, me being off and everything, it's just going to take a little bit longer than usual, as well as there's an absolute load of them as well. So sadly we've come to the end of the show. Hopefully you're going to be liking the new format. Hopefully you're going to be getting in on the new sci-fi group build here at Genessis-Models this weekend and start building, or at least start maybe buying in something. I'm going to be looking into a bit of sci-fi stuff as well. Next week there's going to be no show. As I say, I want to be working basically as solid as I can on actually building, so I want to get these finished, deckled up, weathered up, finished, all the videos edited up, so hopefully this will be all done. You know, I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to be starting the next build or whatever, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, hopefully it's just going to be a load of building next week. So yeah, until next time, my name's Bob Waldron, this is Genessis-Models, and paint your models.